What is the endometritis? Endometrium, inflammation of the endometrium and glandular tissue is called as endometritis. Okay. So these definitions are very much common and should be remembered always. Not by ditto line by line, but you should differentiate between the endometritis, perimetritis, septic metritis, parametritis, and subclinical endometritis to clinical endometritis and other things. Okay. So these common terms should be remembered and should be differentiated with each others. And many times in examination, you people write a very wrong things. If I ask the what is the subclinical endometritis, then many people has written the definition of the metritis only. So this should not be happen. Okay. So then metritis, muscular layer and endometrium. If muscular layer involved with the inflammation of the endometrium, then it's called as the metritis. Generally, people says that this is the inflammation of all the three layers. That is called as metritis. But separate term has given for the all the three layers. That is called as perimetritis. Peri matlab charo par. Okay. Then it's called a perimetritis, and then parametritis. Para means beyond. Isn't para position in the chemistry, biochemistry has we known that para position. Para means beyond. Adjacent. Adjacent. If adjacent structure also involved like that peritoneum and other things, then it's called as parametritis. So, what is the parametritis? Inflammation of uterus and adjacent structure called as parametritis. Then septic metritis, as known by the name septic means septicemia. If septicemia develops in the uterus, then it is called as the septic metritis. Septicemia leads to the toxemia, and toxemia leads to the pyremia. So these are associated with each other, and the inflammation within 1 to 10 days of the parturition and leads to the septicemia, then toxemia, then pyremia, then it is called as septic metritis. Okay. Puerperal metritis, what is the puerperal metritis? It is a common metritis which is generally seen by us. It is accomplished by the, it is not accomplished by the septic or general symptom of illness. In this condition, no any general symptoms are seen. Just like the animal is not a recumbent, not a dull depressed and other things, not as any fever or not a anorectic. So, but inflammation of uterus, and it will lead to the yellow or a slight yellow, yeah, light white creamy color uterine discharge. So it is called as puerperal metritis, which is more common, and it will occur after the mishandling of the Ristocchia and other things. Many times after the RFM. So many causes are there, many times. But most common cause that bacterial infection, invasion of the bacterial infection inside the uterus by any means. Okay, that will lead to the metritis either in the form of septic or in the form of puerperal metritis. So these are the common causes. So sclerotic metritis, as you know, the sclerosis means the chronic inflammation. When sclerosis means the thickness, when the thickness of uterus muscles has increased, that is called that the sclerotic metritis. Chronic inflammation of uterus in which the fibrosis is occurs. Okay. If the sclerotic metritis occurs, then animals many times we can say normal or very reduced, very low fertility. As in the cases of the sclerotic metritis, only 5 to 10% animal become fertile in future. Okay. Then clinical endometritis. When the endometritis palpated by the rectal palpation, how you diagnose the rectal palpation? By okay, this is the endometritis. Increase in the size and thickness of the uterine wall, but for that purpose you should also know that what is the normal size of the uterus and uterus. Okay, in the day of the postpartum, what day you have feel means the after the 10 days. you feeling the rectal examination, then in normal feeling you should know okay, what is the normal feeling of after the 10 days of the parturition of the uterus. So it is very much needs to the skills. So skill is needed in that type of cases of the when you diagnose the clinical endometriosis by the rectal examination, and you should know the normal things. Well, after that, you should go for the confirmatory or tentative diagnosis of the clinical endometriosis. Okay. Then subclinical endometriosis means which is not generally detected by rectal examination. How you detect? You take the microscopic examination of the or uterine biopsy, or you just insert the one AI sheath and take the uterine content and see in the light. When any flakes in the mucus discharge, then it is when there is small, very small flakes and white or light yellow color flakes in between the mucus discharge, then it is called as the subclinical endometriosis. Many times, no any flags or other whitish or yellow flags inside the mucus, but there is a subclinical endometriosis. Then white side test is also known. 10% NaOH has mixed in the mucus, and if the flags are if the coagulation is there, then it is called as the subclinical endometriosis. On the basis of that, you can diagnose the subclinical endometriosis. One day I will teach that in the practical class, okay, how you diagnose and other things, subclinical endometriosis and clinical and other things. Okay. Now your practical classes has resumed. I think that's leads to the uh, good for your self covering the your practical portion, but it is somewhat hectic also. But by the way, we are managing the things. Etiology, bacterial infection. What is the etiology of these types of endometritis, subclinical endometritis, and other so many causes of the uterine infections? So bacterial infection, most common cause, as I know, the Corynebacterium pyogenes, Pseudomonas aeruginosa, E. coli, Staphylococcus, Streptococcus, and so many bacteria are there. How you diagnose the bacterial infection occurred? The loceal color, locia means normal uterine discharge after the parturition is called as locia. Locia become white, yellow, white, or gray color, yeah, reddish color. Then you should think about that if there is any infection in the uterus. Okay. Then second one is the unsanitary parturition and mishandling of the dystocia, dusty, wet, and contaminated surface of the where the dystocia or where the parturition has occurred, then leads to the ultimately bacterial, viral, and fungal and other infections. Okay. Parturian disease, as I told that RFM, retention of fetal membrane, abortion, stillbirth, dystocia, and so many causes of parturian diseases. So many parturian diseases causes the uterine infection and ultimately lead to the inflammation in the uterine walls. Endocrine factors, that is low estrogen, which causes the removal of the uterine content outside the uterus, from the uterus, and high progesterone level seizes the uterine contraction. Okay, high progesterone level beyond the 7 to 8 nanogram per ml, that leads to the seizing of the uterine contraction, that lead to the accumulation of the pus and other discharge, loceal discharge, and bacterial and ultimately bacterial contamination and other things ultimately lead to the uterine infections and other things. Poor care of dam and after parturition. If you not care the dam, then ultimately leads to the uterine infections. And nutritional factor also very much important in the overfed cows. So many overfed cows have more prone to the metritis, vitamin A, selenium, calcium, phosphorus ratio, and other nutritional factors in energy deficiency and other things leads to the endometritis. Ultimately, calcium and phosphorus leads to the reduced myometrial contraction that will lead to the accumulation of the pus inside the uterus and ultimately uterine infection occurs. Okay. Then what are the symptoms? Symptoms mainly depends on the infections and layer of uterus involved. Okay, that is very necessary to know okay, what are the symptoms in different conditions. So general symptoms are dull, depression, erectic animals, but in the case of puerperal metritis is not seen, but in the scene of the septic metritis, and ruminal stasis many times, and recumbency in the mainly in the septic metritis. So many animals got the recumbent and not able to stand, even death occurs so many times. Per vaginal examination, you just know if you insert your hand, if your hand is going to the uterus or up to the vagina, up to the vulva, up to the vagina, then you should found that your white, purulent, gray, white, yellow, reddish, and these types of color of the loceal discharge, which is not called locia, which is called the uterine content, infected uterine content. Okay. Rectal examination only helpful in the cases of the differential diagnosis. But after the rectal examination, when you sketch the uterus, then so many loceal discharge has comes out. On the basis of that, you should know that what is the condition, what is the either it is septic metritis or a subclinical endometritis or puerperal endometritis, or it is normal. Okay, so these type of examinations are helpful in the cases, and history is mainly important. Sequelae, what is the sequelae? Post-disease effect, peritonitis may be developed and uterine involution hampered, and ultimately it leads to the infertility in the animals. Systemic illness in the cases of septic metritis and other metritis also maybe. And death is rare, but may be common in the when septicemia develops. Okay, and prognosis is the almost good, but it should be treated. Otherwise, it should lead to the general systemic infections. Okay, what are the treatments and management? Treatment should be done on the basis of history, clinical examination, and lab diagnosis. What are the lab diagnoses? And different microscopic examination in the cases of the septic and puerperal metritis, differential diagnosis should also done. So many things are keep in mind to treat before the treatments. Okay, and that is very important to the history. Antibiotic selection, it is also very a big issue. What types of antibiotics will be preferred in the cases of metritis? Then antibiotic selection is based on the layer involved in the uterus, and also you should go for the culture sensitivity test. Otherwise, you should failure. Supportive therapy in the form of minerals and vitamins and other supplementation, you should go. Liver tonics and fluid therapy may be given, but you should remember that irritant drugs should be avoided. But many cases in the septic metritis and other cases also very tetracycline is a very irritant drug, but in the combination of the tetracycline and metronidazole is very much working. So most of people depends on that therapy also, even though it is irritant. But you should avoid irritant drug in the cases of subclinical endometritis and clinical endometritis also. Okay, but you should use that type of drug in the cases of septic metritis where the dam survival is very necessary. Dosing is not recommended because it percolate the uterus and go inside the peritoneum and other things. So it will lead to the many times lead to the oviduct, goes into the oviduct, and ultimately ovirobursal adhesions occurs. Ovirobursal adhesions is that where the bursa of the ovarian structure has becomes fibrotic, and the ovarian movements has not occurred, that will hamper the ovulation of the ova. So it will cause the infertility ultimately. So dosing should be avoided in current therapy. Dosing is not recommended. Sometimes you can do the dosing in the cases of so many required and white yellow pus, which is very thick, and at that time you should go for the dosing with mild antiseptic solution like KMnO4, but maximum the content of the KMnO4 and other things should be removed. Okay, that otherwise it leads to the other infections, peritonitis and other things, available additions. Septic now comes to the septic metritis. It is observed within 1 to 10 days of the pertussis, as I said, which leads to the septicemia, toxemia, and pyrexemia, pyremia. So pyrexia is developed, so it will lead to the very fetid discharge, means watery discharge of the reddish brown color, and animal become recumbent, and other clinical signs occurs like dull, depressed, anorexia, and animal always in the lying condition. So it is very hectic to manage that type of cases if not early diagnosed. Okay. So in the early stages, very high temperature occur, but in the later stages, to subnormal normal temperature. In the when I was in the IVRI, so many cases of that type of septic metritis came, and most of the cases recovered, but it will take the 10 to 15 days. So you should know that how much cost has given, and broad spectrum antibiotic, courier therapy daily, and so many things as supportive therapy. So it will lead to the more money, expenditure of more money, also if not diagnosed at very early stage. Okay, sometimes expiratory grunt may be seen in the last stage, in the near to death. And main things are that there is uterus is atonic. That will lead to the accumulation of pus inside that, and formation of the pus is continuously occurred. So it will lead to the very active to manage. Okay. That type of cases occurs after the emphysematous fetus. When you remove this emphysematous fetus, emphysema of the fetus has led to the adhesion, both uterine muscle in the adhesion with adhere with the fetus, and it will lead to the in contamination in the uterine walls, and that leads to the septic type of metritis if not given so many proper treatment. That's why in the cases of emphysematous fetus, dead fetus, improper handling of the placenta, you should go for the fluid therapy must. Otherwise, it will lead to the septicemia, ultimately toxemia, and death of the animals occurs. Okay. So many bacterial diseases, bacterial scars are there. They're like, as I told, the Streptococcus, Pseudomonas aeruginosa, E. coli, and so many bacteria are there. What we should give in the treatment? Initial stage, you should give for the ecbolic or oxytocin, Restogen works, but in the later stage, it not work. And in severe cases, metronidazole with oxytetracycline, intrauterine and both the parentals. So it will lead to the in normal saline solution, and metronidazole and other things will lead to the removal of the toxic substances from the bloods, and that will lead to the cope up with that type of cases. So tetracycline is a drug of choice in that in the severe condition of the septic metritis. Antihistaminic should be must given because histamines are releases in the case of toxemia, and antipyretics, if needed, staining is more in the initial cases, then there is atony in the uterus. To cope up that type of atony, the animal take the straining by natural instinct. Staining is so much continuous, and if more staining, then it will lead to the sometimes prolapse of the uterus and other things, rectal prolapse. So avoiding these type of things, you should go for the epidural anesthesia time to time, and you should go for the general sick pills and general sedative, mild sedative. you can use. So fluid therapy as a normal saline solution, as I told. Then comes to the puerperal metritis. It is a common type of metritis after the parturition, and within 2 to 8 weeks or more, even though after the one month you can find that type of cases, and it will lead to the chronic type of metritis. Means chronic means not in type of sclerotic, but chronic means long standing cases, 1 month, 2 month, 3 month occurs. When treatment come, then it will okay, and after the 1 month another again it will develop. So it is very common in the farms and field condition also, but no any general and systemic sign occurs. So it is not so much dangerous, but infertility is there in that type of cases and delayed in the ovarian resumption and ovarian rebound phenomena. So generally reddish brown, gray, or light creamy color. Light creamy color is more common. Colors of the thick or mucoid, like the nasal discharge in the cases of the your coughing and your cough, like the your cups. That type of mucoid type of discharge came from the uterus. And even though large in the vaginal portion, if you insert your hand, then so many pus you find in the vagina. But when they squeeze the uterus perfectly, no any pus comes. So it will be causing the so many types of illness and infertility in the case of puerperal metritis. Main thing is that their exudate is mucoid type and light yellow, creamy, or maybe brown color, but no any systemic signs in that. Okay. Here uterus is tonic. That's why there is a accumulation of the pus in the side of vagina and other. Okay. Treatment should be based on the antibiotic therapy. Okay. Antibiotic therapy and Lugol's iodine solutions many people has given, but now so many experts have not recommended that type of therapy in Lugol solution because it's very much irritant. So embolics drugs like herbal preparation like the Imro, in so many companies is there. Utrotone is more common, Imro, and so many companies are there. I am not supporting any company. But methyl ergometrin, it is very best drug to evacuate the uterine content. Sometimes you can use the PGF2 alpha and estrogen. If the natural estrogen, then natural or in the form of the synthetic estrogen. So it is working, but more common therapy is that you should go for the sometimes if the so many pus discharge is there, about 500 ml and other things, then you can go for the uterine dosing, but it should be remembered that uterine dosing should be done on the cost of infertility. So infertility may be hamper in the case of uterine dosing, but if in no any chance to evacuate the uterine content, then you should go for the uterine dosing. But all the content should be removed from the uterus after the dosing of the uterus. So parenteral antibiotic, antihistaminic, and other things that given. Then comes to the infections of the cervix, vagina, and vulva. These types of infections may not occur, but sometimes cervicitis, vaginitis, and vulvitis inflammation occurs. And necrotic vaginitis, vulvitis may be seen in the cases of more infection, and catarrhal vaginitis in the cases of mishandling dystocia cases had also be seen. So treatment should be given on the basis of the signs and symptoms and severity of the illness. So antiseptic solution is very sufficient to pour the antiseptic solution inside the vagina and other things or over the vulva. It is sufficient to cure the disease, but if not, then you should go for the embolic drugs and also which evacuate the content from the vagina and other things. And the broad spectrum antibiotics should be used. Sometime infection is the descendant. So descendant infection of the uterus to vagina and vulva, other things. So that type of infection should be prevented by the using the embolic drugs. Okay. If you evacuate the uterine content, then automatically infection will not go. Okay. So supportive therapy, embolic drugs and oxytocin mainly working within the 1 day or 8 to 10 hours. Herbal preparation should be used. Herbal preparation you can use always. In the cases of the septic metritis, puerperal metritis, endometritis, and other things. So it will cause the uterine health. It will cause the proper uterine health, and fluid therapy and calcium therapy should be used on the basis of your diagnosis and requirement. Okay. In the case of septic metritis, fluid therapy is very necessary. But in the cases of the puerperal metritis may be used. So that type of cases, that type of therapies will be decided by you on the basis of their general systemic science and general systemic illness and other things. Anti-inflammatory and antihistaminic must be used. Okay. And all the cases, you can go for the anti-inflammatory and antihistaminic drugs. So this is the very topic, but photographs should be displayed on the common PPT in which I will cover all the diseases, condition of the uterus and cervix, vagina and other things. So you will get that PPT within 1 week.